Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu ija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi getcha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi getcha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi gwecha weni migu Kija weni migu Nebe kizage gu kimi getcha weni migu Kija weni migu
Just totally, totally excited about this. Paul, I'm wondering if you could introduce yourself to our audience, and I will give some thanks to the people supporting us.
Well, miigwech, Robert, and I certainly want to give our greatest heartfelt thanks to Native Roots, not just radio, but Native Roots Media, and to you and to Ogama Ginukwe for helping set this up. It's being done remotely, and that takes an awful lot of planning. We certainly appreciate that. I'm the board of directors chair for Honor the Earth, and I'll do a traditional introduction. Buju Indinoe Magana Duk Skabewis Indigeni Kaz Makwa Indu Dame Odawa Zagai Geding Indunjiba Nungum Gijigat. I am known amongst the Ojibwe and my friends as Skabewis. I'm the former editor of News from Indian Country and a producer for Indian Country TV, and member of the Bear Clan, as I indicated in my introduction, and nowadays living on the Lakudere Ojibwe Reservation of northern Wisconsin. So I'm really glad to be able to join with you this evening. And I know we're going to be bringing in a number of people today, and I want to make sure that we've got Tania Aubid hanging nearby. She's going to pop in now and then, but I know that she's going to be coming up shortly. So if she's available to introduce herself as one of the other background co-hosts, maybe we can do that. Or is she over by the Sugar Bush operation yet?
Well, I just got to take over here on the other side here. I just want to thank, there's so many people to thank. I want to thank AM 950, and I want to thank Devil Radio in Madison and AM 950 in the Twin Cities, WCPW in Chicago, WOJB 88.9 in northern Wisconsin for really stepping up and helping us enjoy this celebration. So it seems like we got a little couple things going on here. Let's try and get Winona LaDuke on here, and let's talk a little bit about how this great celebration is
There we go.
happening. And hey, wow, there they are. Hey, welcome, Winona. This is you're the genius behind all this and this great show that we're going to have here, and I want you and Tania to say a few words. Could you hear us all the way up on the front lines of water protecting? Can you hear us okay?
We can. We're on the banks of the Mississippi River here, and nice to see you, fine friends out there. And thanks for coming out, everybody, to see our Earth Day show for Honor the Earth and our Mother Earth Day show. And I'm glad to be here with my sister, Water Protector.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just want to. We had a song by Liz Jacquelas and her family as the intro, the water song, and how beautiful that was. And it was written by Dorian Day, and we were just so excited to be able to be part of this. And I just got chills, with that song playing, Paul. That we were doing something big here.
I think we're doing something big, and I think we're doing something right. And, I think it's something for the future for our grandchildren and future generations. And so the music is just one inspiring aspect of being able to conduct yourself in a healthy way. And so we wanted to go to Tania. Tania, you want to introduce yourself, and then we're going to have Winona say a few words, okay? Tania is in 1855 treaty host up at the Water Protectors Welcome Center there. And she is also a sugar making expert and knows her medicines and spends a lot of times walking in the woods. I've run into her walking around in the woods. Tania, take a few minutes and tell us about your location, your community, who you are, please.
Buju bidwewi gishugukwe nindesh nakaz bakwa manomanika minisanakwang undunjaba awasasi dudem igawatish kung nindede nigani mama. My English name, colonized name is Tania Aubid. And right now I'm residing at the Water Protector Welcome Center. Yeah! And we are on the shores of the Mississippi River. And since we are kind of like in between cultural sessions here, we just got done with our spring sugar bush making of sap, syrup, and sugar. And it was really a quite tasty treat to have. And I welcome all the water protectors that are wanting to come and face down line 3, and that's what we are doing. And we welcome all people that are wanting to put their bodies on the line out here. So miigwech.
All right, miigwech, Tanya, and we're going to hand this over to Winona for a few words. We do have a lot of things coming up this evening for the guests. We've got several brand new songs, especially that brand new song On This Land Where We Belong, or the Pipeline Blues. But we want to go over to Winona LaDuke, who is standing in front of the famous teepee there at the Water Protectors Welcome Center.
This is the teepee. This teepee was out at first it was out there at the KXL pipeline in Washington, D.C. in 2014. This teepee 7 years on the front lines. And we took this teepee out there to oppose that Keystone XL pipeline, and this teepee went to Standing Rock. And this teepee's here now on the Mississippi River because we mean business. This is our teepee. And we're grateful to our friends who helped us put this together. But, this is these times. These are some epic times. And we're really glad that people are joining us, watching the show. We're super grateful to all these musicians who have come out, poured their hearts out, their songs out. And I know Paul's going to be talking about and introducing a bunch of them. But, Annie Humphrey, Chastity Brown, Corey Medina, Indigo Girls, Jennifer Kreisberg, Sonny, all of you's in there. Joy Harjo, the Day Sisters, thank you. And Pure Faith, thank you so for coming out. But more to that. But listen, what I want to say is that, someone's got to be here for Mother Earth. Someone's got to be here for the water. I say, we come for the water. And, here we are at this moment in time, and it's the end of the tar sands era. And Enbridge wants to put a $9 billion tar sands pipeline in through the heartland. That's a dumb idea, man. And no pipelines are getting approved anywhere. None of them. The Jordan Cove pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline, the Atlantic Coast pipeline, the Constitution pipeline, they're all gone. Why we got to have this one? Bad idea. So we're here for the water.
What inspires you, Winona? Tell people what inspires you to, you're spending in some cases 18-hour days doing things. Tell us quickly in a breath or two, what inspires you? Why do you do this?
Well, look where we live. The Creator gave us sugar from a tree and, rice and water you could drink. And everything around you is alive and there's swans flying around. I work for them guys. What a great place in the world to live. So I want everybody to, I want all these little beings to be able to continue on. And to do that, we got to stop some dumb stuff from happening. But I like it where we live. And Anishinaabe, our king, the land to which the people belong and the water we belong to.
All right. Well, thank you, Winona. We've got a little bit of pitch coming up, but I'm supposed to do the pitch for the program coming up. And this special program.
Do that. You guys will be here. We'll be watching. Thumbs up, man. No Bic lighters here. Just little flames. We don't go Bic no more. That's fossil fuels.
Be nearby. If there's a reason you need to come back in, we'll bring you back in, Winona.
Okay, we'll be around. Miigwech, guys.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. What does inspire her, Paul? What a great question. She's inspiring too. And I'm wondering if before you introduce this great song, if I could just throw this out there before we get to the song, I want to give you some info about fundraising. And we're doing tonight. Donations are on donorbox.org/line/3. The first 50 people that donate $100 or more will receive a Mother Earth Matters t-shirt designed by Sarah Little Red Feather and We Live Native printed into hemp unisex t-shirt. So the first 50 people are going to get one of those shirts. And I saw that shirt, Paul, and I want one. Dang it. Darn it, I want one.
I was hoping you'd have one on tonight to be able to show that off. But let's get right into this. This is going to be one of the featured new songs that we're going to do tonight, the premiere of On This Land, also known as the Pandemic Pipeline Blues. It's a special composition that was put together. I watched it last night for the first time, and it's a wonderful composition. It's going to be music and videos tonight featuring Wabanukwe, Winona LaDuke, the Day Sisters, Mumu Fresh, Parafay, Sunny Moreno, Jennifer Kreisberg, Indigo Girls, Bonnie Raitt, and Joy Harjo, the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States. And it was produced and composed by folk singer and activist Larry Long, someone we know in the Great Lakes area very well. We hear him on the radio stations around here. And that song will be available on multiple platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, and more. And the revenues from the sale of this composition and performance will benefit Honor the Earth and the water protectors. So I think we can go right into that music here if we've got that ready from what I can see.
Ninga ishechike nebe onje. Ninga ishechike nebe onje.
This is the same water that was here when dinosaurs were here. There is no new water. This is the only water we will ever know. This is the same water that my great ancestors drank from and harvested our wild rice upon.
On this land where we belong, surrounded by the northern lights. On this land where we belong, beneath the starlit night.
On this land where we belong, wild and almond grows. Our blood runs right through the watershed of the Mama King.
On this land where we belong, rivers, lakes, and streams flow through the heartland of the sacred Mississippi.
This water is sacred. Water is sacred because without water there is no life. You cannot drink oil.
On this land to which we belong, from the Canadian tar sand, 1 million barrels of oil the day to come through these sacred lands. On this land to which we belong, with oil thicker than crude, 4,000 workers coming our way, got them pandemic pipeline blues.
This moment is that moment where we face that oil. This is the moment where we face line 3 and say, no, you will not take our water.
On this land to which we belong, with pipelines that corrode, when they break, it'll be too late. It'll kill this river road. On this land where we belong, don't let that pipeline through. No more drill cats on native land. No more pipeline blues. No more drill cats on public land. No more pipeline blues. No more drill cats on sacred land. No more pipeline blues. No more. Don't let line 3 come through.
You are a story fed by generations. You carry songs of grief, triumph, thankfulness, and joy. Feel their power as they ascend within you. As you walk, run swiftly, even fly into infinite possibility. Let go that which burdens you. Let go any acts of unkindness or brutality. Let go that which has burdened your family, your community, your nation, or disturbed your soul. Let go one breath into another. Pray thankfulness for this earth we are, for this becoming we are, for this sunlight touching skin we are, for the cooling waters we are. Listen now as Earth sheds her skin. Listen as the generations move one against the other to make power. We are bringing in a new story. We will be accompanied by ancient and new songs, and we'll celebrate together.
Nipe, kisake iku, kimi kwachawainamiku, kishawainamiku. Nipe, kisake iku, kimi kwachawainamiku, kishawainamiku.
Wow.
You want to talk about a collaboration, talk about a wonderful collaboration, and not only showing the seriousness of what's being destroyed in the Northwoods of Minnesota, but some of the activities of the water protectors up there, which includes numerous activities that help build community. You saw that in the Sugar Bush. You saw that in groups of people down on the Mississippi jumping in there. They've been there all winter long. They've been there in frigid temperatures, and we certainly appreciate the fact that these wonderful musicians and collaborators have put this together to help support the cause. My understanding is we have Chairman Wiggins in the waiting room here, and I'd like to go ahead and introduce him. He's an old friend of mine and the chairman of the Bad River Ojibwe, Lake Superior Band of Bad River Ojibwe, part of the Ojibwe Nation. And I've observed that in that Chequamegon Bay area and on the Bad River Reservation in Red Cliff close by there, that they have a long history of fighting the good fights. They fought acid trains and acid mines and incinerators and oil rigs in Chequamegon Bay and CAFOs and all kinds of nasty stuff. And they brought it to a standstill. One of the most recent oppositional positions was to a open pit iron ore mine in the Pinocchio's Range. But what I'm going to ask the chairman tonight is to, what's this funky love for Lake Superior that I always hear about? There's always people talking about water, and for some reason they're always shutting down the potential for jobs in order to do what, Mr. Wiggins? The love for Lake Superior, Gitchiguming. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you, Paul. It was wonderful to see the video of our relatives over in Minnesota standing up for Mother Earth and water. Here in Bad River, we're our reservation, our ancestral home here is dovetailed into Lake Superior through coastal wetlands and all of our wild rice beds, and of course, as you're well aware, we have Moaning Wattakanig, Madeline Island, the final stopping place in the Anishinaabe migration story, right out in the lake, just north of our reservation wild rice beds. And you know, in a sense, when I think of the wild rice beds here in Bad River being just a couple miles paddle from Moaning Wattakanig, Madeline Island, we're probably caretaking, you know, in large part some of that primary area where food grows on the water, and where those visions and the spirit of Manoomin wild rice came through, you know. And of course, there's all those beautiful inland blue jewels, those inland rice lakes that have that Manoomin too. But our love for Lake Superior, you know, it's rooted way back, you know, Gitchagumi and Iniwug, Lake Superior people. It's in our blood-knowing DNA. Our upper watershed rivers are lined with black lava rock, and when you go back to the metallic mineral body of Awabik, Musquabic there, that copper iron mineral body that's in the hills above us, you have black lava rock lined beds, and that metallic mineral body is conducting incredible quadrillion gallons of cold, clean, deep groundwater. You know, the the remnant fire that is that metallic mineral body isn't conducting lava anymore. It's conducting deep earth and groundwater. And of course, just as our ancestors took pride in, we live in a place that sees more than its fair share of thunderstorms. And goes back to an old story about this area, Moningwanakanig and Mushkazibi, Medicine River, Bad River, being the home of the nest of the thunderbirds, and so when you got thousands and thousands of years of history, with the waterways as travel corridors, with the waterways as sustainers of life and drinking water, and you're watching prehistoric animals like prehistoric fish like Lake Superior sturgeon roll through your waterways. You get the sense that not only are you living on the most stable bedrock on the planet, on the Mama Aki, Mother Earth, you're also in waterways that are billions of years old. And, and I've said this many times to some of our young people, when the window of life gets small, I tell them not everything gets to go through. I said, window of life got so small one time, you know what couldn't get through? Tyrannosaurus Rex. I said, he couldn't get through there. Megaflora, megafauna. I said, but what went through when that window was real tiny? Lake Superior sturgeon, Name, the sturgeon, that prehistoric fish. And then we add in that Manuman seed with its 99-year scientifically documented history. I would add in that when I think of the time traveler, that old squash that's 800 years old, that they revitalized out of a clay urn, I'll bet you any money that Manuman can travel a lot longer than 99 years in its sleep. But we live in a place that can carry us through, and always has as Anishinaabe. We're rooted in this place, in this earth, in these waters, and these lands. Lake Superior, drives all of that home as the grandmother of the Great Lakes. And when you factor in that in Lake Erie, which changes its bathwater every 2.5 years, they're having a tough time rehabbing Lake Erie with all that toxic algae bloom because of warming and climate change and everything else. When you look at how difficult a time they have trying to help that lake heal itself, and they get the added advantage of Lake Erie changing its bathwater or recharging every 2.5 years, it's really daunting, and it really underscores the imperative importance of the work of protecting Lake Superior, because Lake Superior is on a 200-year recharge. It would take her 200 years to change her bathwater, so to speak. And so from toxic algae blooms to traumatic oil spills to destruction of mineral bodies that are conducting cold, clean water, there's a lot to think about. And that's why I love our water protectors and the work they do. We're merely trying to take some of the goodness that is still here, send it into the future, allow this place to revitalize itself back to the way it used to be, and it can still do that. It's a really incredible place. But yeah, from the coastal wetlands and the riverways here in Bad River on out to the big Lake Blue and the Apostle Islands, really, really incredible place. And our old stories go back to Chief Buffalo taking off from Madeline Island and paddling over to Duluth Superior to take a look at land for the treaties. They used to travel up to Onigamig, Grand Portage. Liza Morrison in her book talking about her family traveling from Moningwanakanig over to Sault Ste. Marie. The shorelines remember us, and the water remembers us, and we've been here a long time. We're kind of prehistoric ourselves, and all of that's just a humble kind of thing that's rooted in connectivity and love. And so a little background there to answer that, Paul.
Right. If I was to spend a couple days or a week on the Bad River Reservation and was looking at the cuisine, tell me what kind of things are coming out of those waterways, watersheds, and the area that you're living in. What would I see at your dinner table if I came over there the next couple of days?
Yeah, you can follow the calendar, and there's just a plethora of beauty that comes out of that for nutrition and food. Anishinaabe here may not be rich monetarily, but they are definitely rich in that good life and that access to incredible food. So right now we're coming off the sugar bush season, like Tania had mentioned, and everyone's kind of flush there in syrup and sugar. The wild onions are coming up, and fiddleheads will be here arriving soon in the river bottoms. Um, the freezers are full of venison, and we just come back from spearing and netting, so we've got a lot of walleye and northern and muskie, and there's Namaben suckers to smoke. And then as you move through the summer, you've got all the berries and all of those things there. We move into fall and Manoomin in September, all that wild rice. And then there's waterfall, because everybody's got to have a little bit of duck soup. We got the migratory flyways that are here in our coastal wetlands that are pretty incredible. And then we get into the fall hunt and all of that stuff, moving into later in the winter where you could still snare waboose, a rabbit or two. But all of that is a universe, and I always use this, with the treaty rights, the usufructuary rights, hunting, fishing, gathering, and the fact that we can now combine that with high tunnels and growing systems and plants. That growing power and our treaty rights just makes Anishinaabe, every individual rolling around in ceded territory, Ojibwe country, is a potential food producing dynamo. That can not only provide for themselves, but can take care of others. And we always use that word, Joenadig, take care of each other. And so there's a lot of sharing going on right now with all of the rivers full of fish right now. But yeah, you can go right through the calendar. A lot of beauty there.
Mike, real quickly, we just got a minute or two here left. We lost a great elder in Mokan on the Bad River Reservation. What would he be telling us and younger people that are coming? What would he be telling us about the environment and about water if he still had that chance? What did he tell you, I guess?
He'd let us know that we're in the time of the quickening, where changes are going to be coming very rapidly, and that we might be a little bit beyond that crossroads where we really need to think about how we want to move into the future. But it's even more important to do that work to bring us back to a balance. And I always think of Winona's quote unquote graceful transition out of the fossil fuel era into other renewables. But Joe Rose and Mokan would tell us that we need to bring her back to a balance, and then he would tell us about how the rainbow people will emerge, quoting that Ojibwe prophecy. And he welcomed all people, red, black, yellow, and white. He recognized that it's going to take all of us to heal Mother Earth and get on that sustainable track. And I used to love his line. He said, it's to the point, Mike, where I think in order to move forward, we're going to have to go back a little bit. That's what he used to say to me.
Miigwech, Mike. Appreciate that. I'm going to send it back to Bob here. Robert.
Wow, I am just so amazed. I just want to read a couple things here before we get on with this, Paul. This has just been an amazing thing. I want to thank AM 950 Twin Cities, Double Radio 97 Madison, WCPT Chicago, and WOJB 88.9 in northern Wisconsin for being with us. And I also want to mention that this is a fundraiser. So I want to say, before we get to the song, I want to give you some info about the fundraiser today. So fundraising, 50 people that donate $100 or more will receive a Mother Earth Matters t-shirt designed by Sarah Littlefeather. So let's get more donations out there. This has really been exciting, Paul, and what a great guest. What a great guest. And do you want to bring Winona back on to introduce this song, or do you want to introduce the next song, Paul?
Well, I think I thought it said here that we were going to bring Shanai on for a minute or something, but maybe I misread that little cue on there. But I see the group is out there at the camp. We can bring them in for a minute if they're still on.
Let's do it.
There's Shanai Matteson. Can you want to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you are, and real quickly why you're having so much fun despite what's the battles of raging?
Yeah, first I'll model the shirt that's been mentioned. This is what you get if you donate the to honor the earth. So my name's Shanai, and I'm here at the Welcome Water Protector Center north of Palisade. And in 2018, when the Public Utilities Commission granted the route permit for Line 3, I was there in St. Paul. And that very evening, I put both of my kids in the car and we drove up here to look at the spot where they intended to cross the Mississippi River. And that's right where we are now. And at that point in time, I made a promise that if they got through all of the permits, if the system failed to protect the water and to protect the rights of Anishinaabe people, to protect the land and climate, that I would be here. And that's where we are now. And I just first and foremost want to say my deepest gratitude to Winona, Tania, to other Native women who are leading this movement, and also to all of the folks here. You can see kind of behind me, just some of the water protectors who are here. Folks have been coming from all across the country to stand with us here at the Mississippi River crossing, and we're really grateful. We've been sugar bushing. Today we planted the garden, and that's how we're observing this Mother Earth Day here. So stop Line 3.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, so Pinigigi, why don't we, Paul? I think I have an updated script, and I think we're gonna we're gonna get to Chastity Brown, and she's gonna be singing a song here real
Let's
soon.
do it. Last time I saw Chastity, she was on Madeline Island in Lake Superior, so she knows about water.
So Ogama, if you with no further ado, if you don't mind running that awesome music video, let's crank some more music and celebrate Earth Day, Mother Earth Day, with Honor the Earth.
Love in the questions, hate in the fall, live in the answers. Never they come when you want. The body's just fragments, war full of stars, lighting the way to wherever you are right now. What could we do here? What words could we speak? Language is silence with the spaces between. So hold on. Hold on. There in the box, you're waiting for me. Under the branches, your feet crush the leaves to the ground. And I kept my distance, observed from afar, walked away with my patience, like dragging a wall through the crowd. What could we do here? What words could we speak? Language is silence with the spaces between. So hold on. Hold
wow. Paul, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, you can't beat it. People putting their heart and their love and their everything into these compositions on behalf of trying to protect the earth from these dirty fossil fuel projects and other extractive industries that destroy the environment as we know it. So that was beautiful. I look forward to seeing Chastity again live somewhere, hopefully out on Madeline Island or in the North Country in the future.
I saw her at Winona's birthday party in Duluth, and that was just amazing. And this recording was amazing. And part of the reason why we're here, Paul, is that we're supporting Honor the Earth, and we're also having Earth Day celebration. And I'm just really blessed to be involved with Honor the Earth in a small way. And I know you've been working with them for a long time. And so I just want to say, Pini Gigi, we're here really honored to be with you and everyone.
You know, Robert, and it wouldn't be without support of people out there in the communities all over the world. I've seen notes coming up from foreign countries here from people who are watching this show this evening. But if it wasn't for people who supported these efforts and gave people a pat on their back and all these things, we wouldn't be able to get anywhere. And so Honor the Earth, indeed, it's a fundraiser because we are supporting numerous efforts, not only in regards to fighting these extractive industries, but trying to help usher in a little bit of the change to the green energy, the transition that needs to take place. And those components, mean trying to lift up communities, trying to make them healthy from within, trying to feed them and shelter them. And that's part of the mission of Honor the Earth as well. If we weren't fighting pipelines, I think you'd see other efforts in the communities that are be more visible than just the battle. We should be defined by that. What do we got coming up? I think we have a video.
We have Winona again. Let's take a listen to Winona LaDuke of Honor the Earth.
It's Winona LaDuke, Winona the Water Protector. And here we are, Oma King, in the land to which the people belong. A King, that means the land to which the people belong. And I think about it, and there's very few places in the world with so many gifts. You can drink water from a lake in northern Minnesota. You used to be able to drink the water from every lake and every river. And our territory is full of maple trees. You can get sugar from a tree, and you can get wild rice from our lakes and fish. The Creator gave us this beautiful, beautiful land, and it is our privilege to not only live here, but to be the people who care for this land and care for this water. And in this moment in time, we've all been living through this pandemic, and we look around and we know that there are catastrophes of biblical proportions going on in this world around us. We know that we have been complicit in some of those catastrophes, and we also know that we have agency and power. This is the time for immense change. As we know, this past year changed our world. Arundhati Roy, the Indian writer, talks about pandemic as portal. And she says that in the history of the world, pandemics have always forced societies to change. This one is no different. The question she asks is, if this is a portal between one world and the next, what do we want to bring through? Do we want to bring our hatred, our avarice, our dirty skies, our data banks, our polluted rivers? Or do we want to walk through clean and make something beautiful? And I say that is now. So I'm here in northern Minnesota, where you can still drink the water, asking you to join with us and to stand up for Mother Earth and to stand up for the waters. We're asking you to come to Minnesota this summer and to be here on these rivers. The Enbridge Corporation, the third largest corporation in Canada and the largest purveyor, 75% of all tar sands oils comes into the United States through Enbridge pipes. And they are throughout our Great Lakes regions, and they are old. It's a crisis in infrastructure, really. But more than that, this company wants to make some profits at the end of the fossil fuel era. While corporations are leaving the tar sands, Enbridge wants to bring 915,000 barrels a day of tar sands oil down a pipe, crossing all of our rivers in the north, all of the rivers and all of the lake watersheds. They've done a lot of damage so far, and we've been standing there. A lot of you have seen us. There's over 250 people that have been arrested up north, and they're people like me. You know, I'm a 61-year-old grandmother, and I have 6 charges against me. So I want to ask, are you going to shoot me for this pipeline, Governor Walz? I think that's a question a lot of people got to ask, is how much militarization should be tolerated in Minnesota as Enbridge pays the police bills and reimburses more police equipment? I think we want peace, not war. I think we want water and not oil. And so that process is going to take a little bit of work. And so I'm asking you to come stand with us on our rivers, protect our water. But more than that, I'm asking you to roll up your sleeves and be part of the just transition, because that's what we really need. Or frankly, you and I are going to be fighting over rocks and pipes for the rest of our lives. As if not Enbridge, Talon Mining, Rio Tinto Zinc, or Polymet, maybe just the Crow Wing Utilities, just comes up with new mining projects that would destroy our water and our rice. How about we move on? So now is that time. We cut our fossil fuels consumption by 10%. During this pandemic, a social movement surged, and we changed the world. The Columbus statues are down. So are those of Confederate soldiers and conquistadors, and people got out and voted. More people voted in this last election than any time in history. Let's keep surging that movement and make what we need, this future. We see a future that has a just transition, where we use less energy and don't spend all our time moving tar sands oil with power. Enbridge is the largest energy consumer in Minnesota because moving sludge takes energy. So what if we quit doing dumb stuff with our energy, reduced our consumption, and got efficient? What if we learned from the example of Texas, where they weren't prepared for power outages and built resilient power grids that are microgrids for our villages and our communities? That's what energy security in the future looks like. And that's what we need. Not just in Minnesota, but everywhere. We need local resilient power. Power for the people, not for the corporations. We need local agriculture. When the pandemic struck, a lot of us just stayed home and gardened. There was a quadrupling of seed sales in this country, and people got into their gardens. Go back to the garden. Keep growing local food and support your local farmers. Let's keep growing our local food so you don't have a carbon footprint on everything you eat, the plastic around it. And then let's build some systems that make sense. We're doing solar thermal panels at 8th Fire Solar on Mother. We're going to do solar photovoltaics. We want to install a lot of solar in the North Country. That's what we should be doing. And we should look at the transitions that we are facing now and the opportunities within them. We're going to make hemp batteries. I understand that they can outdo a Tesla battery. So what if we started being innovative and courageous, manufacturing stuff that made sense in our local cities like Duluth and Superior, and then put our hearts and minds towards making something that is better for our generations ahead? That's all within our hands. All of that opportunity. The new green revolution of hemp, renewable energy, local foods, and manufacturing that makes sense in Minnesota and elsewhere. So I'm calling on all of us to be our better selves, to be the people that stand up for Mother Earth and say, we got a better plan. We're done with a scorched path and we want the green one. This is our year, 2021. Miigwech. Thanks for listening to me. Pray for the best and see you by the river. Miigwech.
Wow. Pinigigi, thank you, Winona LaDuke of Honor the Earth. I wonder if we can get Tania on again, and maybe she can Tania, can you introduce Dawn for us? That would be awesome, Tania.
Dawn Goodwin is a good sister of mine. She's been in the movement since day one. She's been going against this when this was the Sandpiper pipeline, and now it's line 3. So I would like to wholeheartedly introduce my sister, Dawn Goodwin. Miigwech for coming, Dawn.
Bonjour. Bonjour, Tania. Miigwech for all the love. Yeah, I'm so honored to be on here and speaking with you all this evening. Gagagayashi Kindijnakas, Gawaba Biganakagan Dunjaba, Maingan Nindudame. My name is Everlasting Wind, and I live here in White Earth, and I'm of the Wolf Clan. My English name is Dawn Goodwin, and as Tania was saying, I've been in here since the Sandpiper was first proposed in 2013, and then before that, I started learning about the tar sands in 2009 and 2010, and the more I learned and understood about the tar sands industry and the pollution it caused for the water in the air, in that region of extraction. It made me interested and concerned. And at that time, Facebook was just starting and internet was exploding. I was still on dial-up when all that happened. So at that time, there was so many different things that you could be against or for, and tar sands was one thing that really resonated with me in the importance of something to stand against. And the CO2 factor is what really tuned me into that, is the amount of CO2 that it was putting into the atmosphere just to burn that, extract it and refine it. And then the amounts of water that it would use. So 1 barrel of that oil, you'd use 4 barrels of water just to to manufacture it or extract and finish it. And you had to use natural gas also to heat it and separate it, and then you end up with toxic tailing ponds. So now we're faced with tar sands pipeline right in our backyard in the 1855 treaty area of Anishinaabe. White Earth, Leech Lake, and Sandy Lake are all included that, and part of Mille Lacs Lake is also included in the 1855 treaty zone. And this is the bulk of that pipeline would go right through another portion of the 1855. The current line, which goes through Cass Lake, that is within the 1855 treaty area also. So this replacement project is actually a relocation project and an expansion of the tar sands. So it's really not a replacement. That is just a half truth. It's misleading, and it's meant to be misleading. So like I want to repeat, this is a relocation and expansion project of the tar sands. And that is near Bagley, Minnesota, cut through the corner of our federal boundary of the White Earth Reservation, and right through the one disputed township, and then there's there's 4 disputed townships altogether there on the corner. And then it would go, that's the preferred route that they want, and would go right next to our White Earth Reservation and go under the Clearwater River. That's their intent, is to horizontally drill under the Clearwater River and the Mississippi River, the Shell River, all in this area, and then also go in a whole new complete corridor by Park Rapids and on to Palisade and then to Fond du Lac. There's a short portion that is, we do have some pipelines from Clearbrook through Bagley, which are Koch brothers lines, and they, but that is just conventional crude. This would be tar sands oil that would be running through the new Line 3. The current Line 3 has conventional crude, so it's no way a replacement, because it's even got different kind of oil. And tar sands oil is carcinogenic and sinks in the water. So we have worries about risk and impacts to the site-specific area of the rivers, and possible contamination and of our wild rice beds. and medicines in that area, and also the animals. So this is a place, the preferred route is where our people go to hunt and fish and gather and be in solitude. It's just right down by the Mississippi River on the Great River Road on the north side in Clearwater County. And so long ago, when this was a sandpiper, a group of us started Mawinzo Asinagazo, who was the berry pickers, and we were gathering up to stand up against Enbridge's bad ideas. And so our idea was to encourage everybody to start and learn new things and just get out there and start gathering all the different plants and by the seasons. And we were out in the berry patch, and it's just adjacent to and down stream from where they wanted to put these pipelines, the sandpiper back then. Now it's line 3. And we wanted to protect that for future generations. So we want to protect what is left for future generations. Not only is it site-specific worry, it's also a climate risk worry. So this is equal to 50 coal plants, the CO2. And we can't afford to continue to put all the CO2 into the air. It has put our environment in an imbalance, which then puts our Native Anishinaabe lifeways at risk. So Miigwech, thank you for having me on tonight.
But Enbridge is so good at cleaning up spills, Dawn.
No, they're not. They would like you to believe so. Like the Kalamazoo River, they'll never get that cleaned up. They'd like to say so, but you can't clean up tar sands in entirety. It sticks to everything when it's absent of condensate gas. That's the gas that they have to put in it to thin it out in order to get it to go through the lines. So when it's absent of that, it will stick to everything, rocks and plants and animals. And it's most hard to be cleaned up in a wetlands area. So it's beyond me. I'm baffled that they would even allow this to happen through our wetlands areas, especially in this area. The first Mississippi River crossing is the LaSalle Valley, and the absolute worst place you could put a pipeline. It's full of springs and marsh and bog. So yeah, worst place completely.
Miigwech, Dawn. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Dawn. Wow. I just want to say a few things here before we get to our next. I want you to introduce our next music group, Paul. But I just want to say you're listening to Mother's Day on Earth Day with Honor the Earth, and I want to give a shout out to AM 950, Devil Radio in Madison, and WOJB 88.9. Over 100,000 watts of a beautiful sound through Turtle Island. So, Paul, do you mind talking or introducing our next group? Because the next group is just so iconic, and I feel like I should hand it over to you to introduce them.
Well, I appreciate that, Robert. Certainly, the Indigo Girls. And I say this in a good way about all these people that I'm involved with. I like teasing people. I like having fun at activities and so forth. I like keeping busy. I mean, people got a whole nother life to live if they wouldn't be doing this. But the Indigo Girls have been along with Honor the Earth from the very beginning. They were part of the reason that Honor the Earth was funded. They wanted to provide some of their revenues into a forum which helps support communities, and they've funded programs through Honor the Earth re-granting program. Typically on an annual basis, Honor the Earth provides between $70,000 and $80,000 of re-granting in small $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 increments for artwork, for food sovereignty, for buying seeds, for doing things in the community, and that comes through the kindness of the Indigo Girls. But if you have a chance to work with these two very talented musicians, there's a wonderful experience in seeing people who can imagine what it needs to take to make music that moves people. And everywhere I've gone, there's sellout crowds when the Indigo Girls are there. And I think it's a testament to their involvement and dedication to the community, putting some things back in. So this is beautiful. We're going to see some really good things here. And the Indigo Girls have a reputation around the world. They're famous and they jam the forum every time. So this is a special event tonight.
Called Closer to Fine. Here we go.
Ready and I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. And the best thing you ever done for me is to help me take my life less seriously. It's only life after all, yeah. But darkness has a hunger that's insatiable, and lightness has a call that's hard to hear. I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I sail my ship of safety till I sank it. I'm crawling on your shores. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. Yeah, and there's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. Unless I see my source with some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find, yeah. I went to see the doctor of philosophy with a poster of Rasputin and a beard down to his knee. He never did marry or see a B-grade movie. He graded my performance. He said he could see through me, and I spent 4 years prostrate to the higher mind. Got my paper and I was free. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. Yeah, there's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. Unless I seek my source with some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find, yeah. I stopped by the bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle or possibly a friend. I woke up with a headache like my head against a board. I was twice as cloudy as I'd been the night before. I went in seeking clarity. I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountains. Yeah, we go to the doctor, we go to the mountains, we look to the children, we drink from the fountains. Yeah, we go to the Bible, we go through the workout, we read up on the Bible, we stand up for the lookout. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. Unless I see my source with some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find, closer I am to find, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Hope you guys sung along out there.
Wow. I certainly did. That was amazing. Their voices are still great after all these years. That was beautiful, Paul.
You know, Robert, the dedication of the people on the board of directors, Jennifer Kreisberg, who used to be on the board of directors, the Indigo Girls, and other musicians, you know, is paramount. The blood, sweat, and tears and the love for the community is what they're trying to pursue. And that love for the community is the protection of the environment and the protection of the future of children and grandchildren and perhaps human life. So a lot goes into it. And if people think it's just fun, it's not. There's a lot of hard work that goes into working for Honor the Earth, or being on the board of directors, or being involved in composing and traveling. There is a sacrifice to family life. And so beautiful music that moves people and moves movements. And we need all of it. I know we had several people talking, Winona talking about the kinds of things that people can do, but we need people in every category of life. If you're a photographer, people often ask, what can we do to help out? And, you know, if you're a photographer, come up and take photographs. And if you're a canoeer, get on the lakes and canoe, you know, and if you're a good poet, write poetry about the line and the environment. And if you're a good letter writer, write letters to the editor. We need people contacting politicians. We need people doing all those things. If you're a good chef, come up and chef up, because we ought to be able to give a break to some of the chefs at the water protector camps. So there's lots of things that people can do.
Absolutely. And one of the things I want to remind everyone is give a shout out to all our people that are helping us with this broadcast all over Turtle Island, and then of course through Facebook Live and YouTube. And I just want, if you want to help, donations that are donorbox.org/line3. Please give if you can, because there's a lot of people that are out there, you know, putting their life on pause to fight this pipeline, Paul.
Yeah, there is. I was looking at some of the videos of some of the people who've been around. There's been people who've literally decided that they needed to quit their job and come north to Minnesota, come north to Wisconsin. Pipeline 5 is coming up real rapidly. The Mackinac Straits issue in Michigan is live. So you've got Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan that are all involved in pipeline controversies and all the things that go with it. I mean, Enbridge added $1.1 billion to Pipeline 3 budget recently, about a month and a half ago. And you can see how they're spending millions of those dollars on newspaper ads, Facebook ads, radio ads, contracts. There's more Native Americans hired by Enbridge than ever before. You don't thank water protectors for that. There's more contracts going to subcontractors, more jobs being offered. They've hired all the whisperers and people who are willing to jump on board with them that they can, and that's a positive thing. But at the same time, the apparatus, you know, is, you know, it's gummed up against common people and citizens at the local level. Enbridge can condemn public lands in the United States. Their company is fractionated into 200 sub-subsidiaries, so that if there's a break on the Mackinac Straits, the liability is only to the easement owner, which is an Enbridge subsidiary. So, you know, there's all kinds of dynamics that go in to this whole battle at all those levels. Social, food sovereignty, they're all involved, and we need everybody involved as much as they can. So there, you got some of the up on the screen places you can donate. And what do we have coming up? We have some other artisans coming up as well. Someone that's known to northern Minnesota and Great Lakes area very well, Annie Humphrey. What could you tell me about her?
Wow, you know, I'm excited to have her on. I just wanted to mention one thing before we get Annie's premiere of this song that she's going to be doing. I think it's an older song that she's doing, and she's doing it live. You know, there's no new jobs in Minnesota. I mean, Enbridge is acting like they're friends of ours. We wouldn't have a radio show or be Native Roots Radio Network or Native Roots Radio. I'm awake if it was. They tried to put the pipeline through Bismarck, in DAPL, and they put it through Standing Rock instead. So we're seeing that, Paul, all over Turtle Island, where brown and black people are just being taken advantage of, and water is life, and we have food and things like that. It's just become such a political thing. I mean, I watched hockey tournaments and the basketball tournaments, and Enbridge is on there like they're our good neighbor, and we know that they're not. And so, sorry about that, but I just wanted to say it just gets me going, and I know it's a celebration tonight, and it's been really good. And so, why don't we listen to Annie Humphrey and her song, and let's just kick back, and maybe I can relax a little and quit drinking all this coffee.
Thanks, Robert.
Outbreaks of new diseases can't get help from Jesus. Water rushing out, stranding yachts in the trees. Better get ready for the extinction of bees. Stay coherent for as long as I'm able. In this episode, a horrible. Ignored it all, buried my head in the sand. My son arrived and gave his command. His first words were, "Mama, you take a stand." So I pulled my head up out of the sand, and I raised my fist in the air as I shook the sand from my hair. Stay coherent for as long as I'm able. In this episode, a horrible. Strong brown women attracting fingers and bullets, while middle America stays ignorant of the bloodshed. The good guys and bad guys are oil addicted. When a black snake breaks, they all sink on the same shit. Stay coherent for as long as I'm able. In this episode, horrible. Stay coherent for as long as I'm able. In this episode, a horrible.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. That's Annie Humphrey performing the song episode Horrible. Annie says that she wrote this song a long time ago, but it addresses COVID, pollinators, pipelines, oil, good guys, bad guys. She said we are all in hard times, but life is still beautiful. That was a beautiful song, Paul.
Another beautiful composition, and another human being that I often run into on Madeline Island. The last time I saw her there, she was working on a huge replica of a jingle dress dancer that you've seen at protest in Madison and at the Water Protectors Welcome Center there up at Palisade and around. And so artisans and musicians are creative, and creativity sometimes is a place that is special, like the old capital of the Ojibwe Nation on Madeline Island in Lake Superior, as we say, because it is an island and surrounded by water. And beautiful stuff comes out of these kinds of people, and that's one of them. Annie Humphrey's been there. And it's just, you know, we're talking about celebration, you know, because I keep saying Earth Day is such a wonderful potential thing. You know, and I was just looking at some data here, you know, because I got all kinds of stuff compiled on Enbridge. You know, looking at the Polaris Institute report put out several years ago, which determined that there was 804 Enbridge spills between 2000 and 2010. That doesn't include all the spills that have occurred since, and there's a long list of them right in there, and the amounts of gallons. So it's not a question of if, it's a question of when and how much. That's the history of the oil and chemical industry in the United States. And I see some people playing around on our screen now that appear to be ready to come in and talk a little bit more. But we want to thank Annie Humphrey for that composition. And Robert, you got any announcements that come up here?
No, not right now, but we should get back to the Welcome Water Protectors and see
totally
what they have to say. Welcome back, you guys.
Guys are having too much fun. You guys look like you're having too much fun out there.
Always.
Tell us a little about those T-shirts, because they're going fast. I know a lot of people are donating $100.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know. Oh, they're frozen up a little bit. You're frozen up there just a little bit there. I was checking out that Seneca guy with that T-shirt on. You know, I'm kind of jealous. I guess that comes with the perks of the camp. So I'm going to come up there and do some modeling myself. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about the camp here.
Well, the camp consists of welcoming our water protectors who want to come over and help put their bodies on the line over here. We're located about 2 football fields away from the drill pad area. And thankfully, Winona and I had constructed a medicine lodge on the banks of the Mississippi River, and we were able to hold offline the Enbridge workers from doing any more desecration. So when you come here to the Water Protector Welcome Center, you'll be north of Palisade, but when you look across the road, the Mississippi River is right there. And you look down the road a little bit and you'll see where they want to put the pipeline in. Right now we got about 5 yurts, about 8 tents, cook shack, and the chef is awesome with this food over here.
Yeah. You see how good it is. You can hear that. Right?
He caters to both the meat eaters like me, and we got vegan food that's made to order, and then like our Seneca friend here who has allergies to food, and he's able to accommodate him also. So we got a lot of good stuff going on right now. I want to bring up Mother's Day. Since it's Earth Day, you know, we're going to continue right on to Mother's Day, and we're going to have a canoe paddle from Jacobson area and coming right down to the Welcome Center dock over here. And we're going to be using canoes, kayaks, and we'll be feeding people, and we'll also be having some sort of entertainment that's going to be happening. So there's, from today on out, there's going to be a lot of things happening for Mother Earth. And for Mother's Day, we're calling it Mayday, Mayday for Mother Earth, you know, to show her love, not just to our own mothers that are here alive and well, but to Mother Earth, who's been hosting us for eons, for millennia now. So one way to show our love for her is to do something in that aspect without using any fossil fuels. So that's what we're doing here at the Welcome Water Protector Center. And if you keep looking at the Welcome Center page, you'll find a lot of things that we are going to be doing and what we have already done. So I encourage everybody to check out the website and to be able to keep abreast of what we got going on here.
Wow, that's great. Hey, do you know what you call a native vegan, a Native American vegan? A
What?
bad hunter. A bad hunter.
Oh.
He might be a bad hunter, but he's the snow snake champion up in northern Minnesota.
Yeah, snow snake champ.
Okay, we got to go back here. I think we've got another bit of music coming up here, don't we, Robert? What do we got?
Well, we're ready to rock and roll with Corey Medina, a song called Repo. And I've watched this, and I can't wait to share this with everybody. This guy is a true rock star. So let's rock and roll to Corey.
Woo, Corey!
Corey Medina and Che, Ashihenishla, now Kay Bushichin, Kiani Dishache, now Kay Dishanella. My name is Corey Medina. I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico. Born for the Salt Rock Clan, from the Nen Nation, and glad to offer up my support, my music, my prayers up to Honor Earth and the fight against colonialism. This is called Repo. Thank you for having me.
Cancel my subscription to the resurrection. Send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. I got some friends inside. When a brother is down, when can he catch a break? I don't wanna see just how much he can take. Well, I see my sister laying on the ground, and I fully understand why the poison comes her down. I need a reason to believe on. The system's leaving. My people weren't in mine, so we'll leave it behind. Yeah. They say flee from sin, then give you the drink. They say get a job, man, why don't you think? Well, I tried yesterday and I truly failed. They say change your clothes, cut that Indian hair. I need a reason to believe on. The system's leaving. My people weren't in mine, so we'll leave it behind. Yeah. Then I'm gonna see how much we can take. The sleeping giant is about to awake. My people's revival's coming, and everyone will see that the U.S. of A wasn't meant for you and me. I need a reason to believe in that the try to be peaceful. Not no more questions. Cause it's time for repossession. Hey, hey. It's time for repossession. Repo, 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 repo. Your rent is due. Your rent is due. Na 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 na. Yeah.
Yeah, is right. Wow. Woo. Wow. That was amazing. Hey, I want to, that was Corey Medina and with Repo. And I want to introduce another video from the Indigo Girls talking about why we are here. And make sure, if you haven't already, go to our donorbox.org/line3 to donate to protect our water. And I also want to thank AM 950 Twin Cities, Double Radio Madison, WCPT in Chicago, and WOJB 88.9 in northern Wisconsin for covering this. So why don't we get into the Indigo Girls again? I feel like I'm spinning some tunes here, and I'm got my DJ voice. Hey, so let's make it happen, Ogama.
I'm Emily. I'm Amy. We're the Indigo Girls, and thanks for joining us on Earth Day to celebrate Earth Day with Honor the Earth and other groups. And also we are here for a purpose, which is to stop Line 3. It is a new construction of pipeline, in addition to pipeline that already exists, whose intent is to bring tar sand oil from Canada down through the U.S., but it crosses over 200 bodies of water. It crosses over treaty land that's protected for indigenous peoples. It threatens the wetlands, the wild rice growth, drinking water. It's a very, very bad idea, and we're here to help try to stop Line 3, along with Honor the Earth and hundreds of other groups.
And we've been working with Honor the Earth for a long time, since the 90s. And one of the things Honor the Earth is doing right now is just called a just transition. We're trying to move away from bad energy projects, things that are destructive to our land and our public health, to a green economy, to provide green jobs and a better health for everyone in our communities. And this is one way you can do it. We've been working to fight these pipelines that pull oil from the tar sands for a long time. And today we're here to tell you what you can do.
There's direct action that y'all can take, and one of the things you can do is go to www.stopline3.org/Biden, as in President Biden, and ask the president to stop Line 3. He has the power. You can also encourage your local newspaper editors to write editorials about stopping Line 3. In order to do that, go to www.stopline3.org/LTE. LTE is letters to editors.
Help us make a just transition to a green economy. We can do it. It will provide jobs. It will provide cleaner environment for all of us and for generations to come. Join Honor the Earth in our efforts.
Thank you.
Happy Earth Day.
Wow, happy Earth Day to everyone, Paul. Wow, that's I'm just again so blessed. I want to say Peeny Gigi to Honor the Earth for letting us help with this production. This has just been an amazing night so far, Paul.
Well, it is really appreciated, because the funds that are raised tonight are going to go into enhancement of the operation of the Water Protectors Welcome Center, and that's what it is. It's not just a camp. It's not just open to everyone, because that's not the intent of the camp. The camp and the center, I say camp because there are people camping there, and I'm used to that term as well. But just note that this is one of 6 or 7 camps along that 340-mile long pipeline that starts in northwest Minnesota and ends up down south of Duluth, Minnesota. And, you know, the intent of the camp is to be a hosting camp. There's food there, there's coffee there, there's discussion, there's events organized there. There was a sugar bush, there was snow snakes, there was swimming events. You see all these guys down on the river rafting around, but they're doing an inventory of plants and the archaeology of the area, the historic nature of the Mississippi River, which has been used for 12,000 years and has mounds and old village sites scattered all along the Mississippi and all the way up into the headwaters there. There's Sandy Lake just south of there was one of the epicenters of the economic business world for the last 5,000 years. And Tania comes not far from there, so that's a famous place. But the Welcome Center is a conduit. It's a way to find your way around. There is hordes of national forests where there's camping available. There's state forests where camping is available. There's county parks. There's private residences. There's organizations from 350.org and Sierra Club and that who are organized. There's church organizations up there. I was up there for some protest earlier this year, and there was several groups of church organizations who were were up there as standing on the roadways, blocking Enbridge trucks and subcontractors and preventing them from going to work. So the center is to be utilized for that, a place to come, a place to do things, a place to orientate yourself, but we really want people to be self-sufficient to go out there and find their own place in the area and get to know it and get to know the local community members.
Well, when I was up there the few times, it was exciting because there was politicians that had just been newly elected and some that had been around for a while up supporting and seeing what the heck's going on. And Winona put on a tour. And, you know, that's a great place for people to stop in. And we encourage all our political friends and neighbors to come up and support and see really what's going on, because, you know, what we try to do on Native Roots Radio is amplify Winona's voice and people in Line 3's voice about really what's going on, because you don't see this stuff, Paul, that on the news. You don't see it, and we're seeing it all the time. They're feeling it up in the deep north, and Winona likes to talk about it as the occupied north, and we really feel that and see that when we are engaged with people that are up there.
Part of it is really these large corporations and other people who have immigrated to northern Minnesota from someplace else, coming into the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe and the Dakota in parts of Minnesota, just seem to be really they don't understand, I think, the relationship of people who've lived here for hundreds and hundreds of years and made it their home and made their lodging out of it, doctored their families and friends and relatives, and fed themselves from the woods. And to have this destructive nature and come witness is what I would say. Come witness what's going on. If you don't believe how destructive this feels, there are people that don't move to northern Minnesota to have this kind of destruction going on around them. That's for sure.
That's exactly true. And what I want to do, Paul, too, is what I would like to do is I want to tell everyone a reminder that On This Land, Where We Belong, the Pandemic Pipeline Blues is available on iTunes, and 100% of the proceeds are going to help for stopping Line 3. And you know what I'd really like to do? I'd like to play the song again, because I know there's hundreds and hundreds of people coming in and out of our show. And I'd like to play it again, if you don't mind.
I think we ought to. Let's do it. It's a beautiful composition. Enjoy it.
Ogama, do we have that ready? All right, here we go.
Ninga shechike nebe onche. Ninga shechike nebe onche.
This is the same water that was here when dinosaurs were here. There is no new water. This is the only water we will ever know. This is the same water that my great ancestors drank from and harvested our wild rice upon.
On this land where we belong, surrounded by the northern lights. On this land where we belong, beneath the starlit night. On this land where we belong, wild Winona grows. Our blood runs red through the watershed of the Mama King. On this land where we belong, rivers, lakes, and
sacred because without water, there is no life. You cannot drink oil.
On this land to which we belong, from the Canadian tar sand, 1 million barrels of oil a day to come through these sacred lands. On this land to which we belong, with oil thicker than crude, 4,000 workers coming our way, got them pandemic pipeline blues.
This moment is that moment where we face that oil. This is the moment where we face line 3 and say, no, you will not take our water.
On this land to which we belong, with pipelines that corrode. When they break, it'll be too late. It'll kill this river road.
On this land where we belong, don't let that pipeline through. No more drill pads on native land. No more pipeline blues.
No more drill pads on public land. No more pipeline blues. No more drill pads on sacred land. No more pipeline blues. No more. Don't let line 3 come through.
You are a story fed by generations. You carry songs of grief, triumph, thankfulness, and joy. Feel their power as they ascend within you. As you walk, run swiftly, even fly into infinite possibility. Let go that which burdens you. Let go any acts of unkindness or brutality. Let go that which has burdened your family, your community, your nation, or disturbed your soul. Let go one breath into another. Pray thankfulness for this earth we are, for this becoming we are, for this sunlight touching skin we are, for the cooling waters we are. Listen now as earth sheds her skin. Listen as the generations move one against the other to make power. We are bringing in a new story. We will be accompanied by ancient and new songs, and will celebrate together.
Nipe, kisake iku, kimi kwachawainamiku, kishawainamiku. Nipe, kisake iku, kimi kwachawainamiku, kishawainamiku.
Wow. That was just awesome. You know, Paul, we got some extra time here, and what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is go back to the camp and maybe see what's happening there, because it looks like they're celebrating Mother Earth Day.
Oh, they'll celebrate all kinds of things. As I say, it says I miss being up there because they have so much fun.
Hey!
But also,
Woo!
let's hear from you. Tell us what's coming up here.
Well, Tania mentioned the paddle on Mother's Day. That's a really important thing. We've been working on building docks and getting ready for that. Anyone else want to share what we did today?
We planted seeds.
We planted seeds. Yeah, we got the garden started. So
And
we're gonna
some
have
banners.
Yeah, made some banners. Worked on some projects around here. A big part of what we do here is just taking care of each other. The core folks who are here and our visitors, keeping each other safe, standing up to dirty corporations,
helping with healing from the trauma of being a water protector.
That's awesome. Hey, before we get back to you guys, I just want to remind everyone to go to donor.org/line-3 and come on and get those t-shirts for $100 donation. You get a free t-shirt, and all our crew's wearing that t-shirt, and it's looking good. I can't wait to get mine.
My understanding is there's only a few left, so get your order in now. and go to stopline3.org for other information on media contacts and events and donations and other things. There's actually a lot of places where you can help out online. If you Google just Stopline3, stopline3.org happens to be the Honor the Earth center there. But I wanted to note something from that last video. I'm glad you played it again because it really shows the difference between what's going on. And there's this destructive nature. And if you noted, what you saw was an awful lot of ceremony. And we've been joined in ceremony from tribes and nations throughout the world by religious representatives from the Presbyterians and the Episcopalians, and you name a religious affiliation in this country, and there have been visitors to the Welcome Center in the last 6 months. It's been really interesting sharing these type of intense feelings with each other, because it's the love for not only the earth, but the ability to speak for everything that has no voice. That's what my name means, and that's what I think the Water Protectors Welcome Center and the people that are there represent as well. They speak for the bears and the wolves and the trees and the berries and the wild rice and the water and all living things that came with creation. And so that is a growing moment in terms of just my own intellectual growth, but it's so good to see that sharing over an issue. Interreligious, interpolitical. We welcome right-wing Republicans who don't like dirty fossil fuel industry as well. Welcome in. Come have a cup of coffee, get some syrup. Come meet these people that are standing here. They're there to help welcome you and help get you orientated toward how you can help out.
Wow, that's a good a thing to bring up. Our relatives are being hampered too. I mean, when they were cutting down those trees when I was up there by that prayer camp that they were going to desecrate right by the Palisade camp, I couldn't believe. I'm just thinking all our relatives that live in these trees that they're cutting down, and all our insects that live on the ground. So, Paul, that's a really great point, that we're protecting for future generations, but also we're protecting for our relatives right now.
Do we have another video of LaDuke coming up here? I see on this agenda, or has that been moved around?
No, that's coming up. So we have to chitter chat for another minute or two, and we can bring it up. So no, I'm kidding.
Schedule. We're not running on Indian time tonight here. We're running on get this done and get through the program time. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not used to that either. But hey, but that reminds me, I got to give a shout out to Ogama for doing a lot of this back work. Also want to give a shout out to Carrie Pickett with that beautiful video with that beautiful song too.
Yes, absolutely. No, there's all kinds of people that need to be thanked that are in the background, and a lot of times some of the people who are the most important are way in the background. Some of us are figures up in front, and we're seen as spokesmen, and the police are always saying, "Is that your leader?" And I love it when the whole crowd just stands up and puts their hand up and says, "No, we're all the leaders. It's all about us. It's not about any one individual." And so that's
funny. At the end of my show on Native Roots Radio, I always end with, "We need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office." And I think Winona is like one of our people that we look to, and she vets out these politicians and the work that she's been doing all these years. It's just, for me, being a novice here, I'm just excited to be involved in a part of the show and have her on my show every once in a while so she can give us update on what's happening. What she likes to say is the deep north, and she also has brought up it's the occupied north, when you have all those people that don't live in this state, and we're in the middle of COVID and all those things that are happening. Again, that people that, across the street from my house don't know what's going on. So it's great to have her amplify what's going on up there, along with all those water protectors that we're talking to right now.
Yeah. Well, they brought 5,000 workers in northern Minnesota in the middle of a pandemic, and at a time when it was dangerous for everyone. And even though they promised they promised lots of jobs for Minnesotans. Not very many of them went to Minnesota people. I see we got introduced to the vicious camp security dog here. So one thing you want to watch out for is lots of kind people, but the vicious camp security dog, be careful about that. Whoosh.
Hey, so why don't we listen one more time, wrap it up, and listen to Winona LaDuke of Honor the Earth. Let's take a quick listen to what she has to say. Again, this is just
Again, this is Winona LaDuke, and I want to thank you for being with us today. It's been a great event, and I'm really, really grateful to all of the musicians who poured their hearts out. You know, the Indigo Girls, my friends Jennifer Kreisberg, Sonny Marino, and Pura Fay. I'm really grateful to Annie Humphrey and Corey Medina, to all of you for being here with us. Chastity Brown, thanks for being here on Mother Earth Day. And more than that, let's just keep making more beautiful things for the future. Spring's here. Let us sow good ideas, good dreams, and protect our water. Keep us in mind, you know, for more information, look at www.honorearth.org. And just again, be courageous, be beautiful, pray hard, let's make a beautiful future. Miigwech.
Well, I'm glad that we got to make sure we got that in there, and maybe Paul, we can end the show here in the next few minutes and talk a little bit more to the people in the camp. What do you think about that?
Well, we certainly want to thank everyone that's joining us from by radio on different stations. I understand that some of the stations may be leaving us, so we want to thank all those people that joined us on radio, on Facebook, on the websites that are hosting this, and absolutely. So we've got a few minutes to bring in some of the people here. Camp.
Hey.
Tania, Shanai, who's out there now that wants to come up and give us a little presentation about their time at the camp or something like that? Tell us something that you've learned.
We were going to make sure about an event happening on Saturday. Do you want to say something?
I can, yeah. Saturday at Pine Point, their Earth Day parade that we're going to be hosting. It's at 1 o'clock and it's a puppet parade. We're going to have a whole assortment of puppets, and hopefully a lot of people will join us for the parade. And it's at 1 o'clock. It's at Ponsford, Minnesota, right on Powwow Highway, right downtown. Powwow Highway. But parking's available next to the new school lot. And then we're just asking people to be aware of COVID, wear masks, and come and join us for a very interesting parade of puppets.
And that's a good reminder, you know, a lot of what Paul said about the kinds of things that happen here that are really special. You know, we really are building a caring community, and when people drive by here and they wonder what's going on and they're invited in, we want them to be curious, to feel welcome here. We're doing a lot of creative activities. A lot of artists from a lot of different places have come to contribute to the puppet parades and the banners that are being made and other things like that. So you're welcome here if that's the way you want to contribute. Anyone else got anything to share?
So people have asked, where is everybody from? Generally speaking, you don't have to tell us exactly, but where is everybody from? Say that again.
From White Earth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next.
Born and raised here in Minnesota. I live currently in Cloquet, but I've been spending most of my time here. So
I'm actually from Slovakia, but I live in New York. So I'm from, I guess, New York. From here, yeah.
I'm from Michigan, so stop line 5, line 3, shut down Enbridge now.
Right on.
I'm coming from Chinook Lands in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and came out with a group from California.
Hello, I traveled from Ohlone Land in California.
Hi, I'm Joe Hill. I've been here since December 15th. I live in Buffalo, New York, from the Cattaraugus Reservation of the Onondaga or Seneca Nation. And been here to support the Indigenous women-led movement.
Thanks, Joe.
Coming in from Piankashaw, amongst other lands in central Illinois.
And I grew up actually in Palisades, so I'm not far, not far from where.
Tell us a little bit about the dynamics of your family there, just real quickly.
Yeah, so when I came up here in 2018 to check out where they were planning to put the pipeline, I had discovered that it actually is crossing the Willow River, exactly where my grandmother was born, and the Mississippi right here by the Welcome Center. So we're about a mile from the Willow. And my family's been here in this part of Aiken County for 6 generations on one side. So I have a deep love and appreciation for this place as what sustained my family being here, and really see the work that I'm doing here in service to this movement as part of being a good relative, doing some repair work on the history of my people here. Most of my family has been involved in industries of extraction over the years. I have family who work on construction projects adjacent to Line 3, and so I'm here also to try to organize with the local community, because this pipeline is not good for anyone. The temporary jobs they're offering aren't even going to local people, and it's dividing our community and making us less safe and less healthy for the future. So it's one of the reasons I'm here. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on how it's dividing the community up there? Because I know there's a lot of misinformation and happy commercials Enbridge has been playing for, it seems like, years up there, that how they're spewing out lies and nobody's really calling them out on that.
Right. They've been spending so much money on propaganda and police. And if your project was a really good idea, you wouldn't need to do that, right? But we have a history here in Aiken County of political leadership offering very few options and not much imagination. And of course, erasing the long history of the Anishinaabe people in this land living in a good way. And so, they are spending a lot of money. They're putting a lot of energy into making it seem as if water protectors are just naysayers. And in some cases, they are spinning stories about the work that we're doing here as being somehow a violent kind of resistance. And I really stand up to that. And I want people to know that what we're doing here is caring for the land and caring for each other. And we include the community that lives around here in the people that we care for too, even if they might not completely understand why we're here and what we're doing.
Wow, well said. And I just am so grateful for everybody in the camp. It's the same spirit of we did Standing Rock, and there's people from all over Turtle Island, all races, just like the medicine wheel, all races, for everyone being there and supporting. Everybody needs water, and water is life, Paul.
Absolutely. There are some other events coming up. I wanted to note, I have my uniform on for those people at the camp. If you notice, I got the uniform out. Okay, so
that was the winter uniform, Paul. You got to update for spring now. You need
Oh,
this.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Wanted to note that at 11 a.m. on Friday, April 23rd, that's this Friday, there's a Stop Line 3 caravan tour coming out of the Fond du Lac reservation, I believe. Yes, car caravan up there. And on Saturday, April 24th, there's an Earth Day event in Duluth. And so and then the May Day Mother Earth stuff. So indeed, there are activities that are going on that many of us aren't even hearing about, because they're being organized by some of the other people who are on the either edge of that 340-mile line pipeline. So, keep your Facebook open and Googling Stop Line 3, and you'll be able to find those events. And many of them are uncoordinated with each other because they don't need to be coordinated with each other. There's a lot of opposition because Enbridge does not have a social license. It doesn't have a treaty social license. It doesn't have a community social license. What they've been able to do is pretty much buy their policy. And that's not working when it comes to the people in the community. So,
hey, we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes left, Paul, and I just want to say, visit stopline3.org and get involved. And I want to thank the Indigo Girls, Winona LaDuke, Chastity Brown, Humphrey, Corey Medina, Dawn Goodwin, and all the rest of the people that have been on this great show. I know I missed a couple right there, but and also a quick shout out to AM 950, Devil Radio Madison, WOJB 88.9 in northern Wisconsin. So if you don't mind, Paul, can we just end with the water song here?
I think we can. Just make sure you make a donation and keep track. And there's many, many ways to make a donation to many organizations involved in this. Help them all out. Find your favorite organization and donate to them.
I want to say Peeny Gigi for you, Paul, for helping me facilitate this. You've been awesome. Couldn't have done this without you, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate Winona LaDuke and Honor the Earth and everybody that's working with them.
All right. Thank you much for joining with us, and we'll get through this last song.
Standing Up to the Hatriots, the David Pakman Show on AM 950.
Scott Peterson with the Minnesota News.
Away.